What if everything you've ever wanted, success, wealth, confidence, and purpose, could begin with just 10 ancient scrolls? Long ago, a poor camel boy with no money, no influence, and no future was entrusted with a secret that would transform him into the greatest salesman the world had ever known. But these scrolls were never really about selling. They were about mastering yourself. And their lessons remain just as powerful today as they were thousands of years ago. This is the extraordinary story of the greatest salesman in the world. Once, in the vast deserts of the ancient Middle East, there lived a young camel boy named Hafid. He owned nothing of great value. No riches, no fine clothes, no family name that commanded respect. His days began long before the sun appeared over the endless sand dunes. As the first light painted the horizon with shades of gold, Hafid would rise from his simple bed, gather the camels, load heavy supplies onto their backs, and prepare the merchant's caravan for another long journey across the desert. From sunrise until sunset, he worked beneath the scorching sun. He fed the camels, fetched water, carried heavy bundles, swept the camp, and walked mile after mile across the endless sands. It was difficult work, but Hafid never complained. While many servants grumbled about their lives, he chose to work faithfully, giving his best even when no one seemed to notice. To most travelers, he was invisible, just another poor camel boy following behind a caravan, someone whose life would likely never change. But they did not know what lived inside his heart. Whenever the caravan arrived in a great city, Hafid watched the successful merchants with quiet admiration. He noticed the confidence in the way they walked, the wisdom in the way they spoke, the respect they earned from others. And deep inside, a question began to grow. Could someone like me ever become more? It was not greed that filled his heart. He did not dream of wealth simply to live in luxury. He dreamed of becoming a man of purpose, a man whose life would matter, a man who could rise above the circumstances into which he had been born. Many believed that a servant would always remain a servant, that greatness belonged only to those born into powerful families. But Hafid refused to believe that his beginning had to determine his ending. Each night, after the camp had grown quiet and the stars filled the desert sky, he would look toward the heavens and wonder if there was something greater waiting for him beyond the horizon. He possessed no fortune, no education, no special advantages, only an honest heart, a willingness to work, and a dream that refused to die. One day, everything changed. The merchant whom Hafid served was unlike the others. His name was Pathros. Across the ancient lands, he was known as one of the wealthiest merchants who had ever crossed the great deserts. His caravans stretched for miles. His warehouses overflowed with treasures from distant kingdoms. Kings welcomed him. Noblemen sought his counsel. Wherever he traveled, people spoke his name with respect. But Pathros possessed something even greater than wealth. He possessed wisdom. Unlike many successful men, he did not judge people by the clothes they wore, or by the family into which they were born. He believed that a person's true value was revealed through their character. And so, as the caravan continued its long journeys across the desert, Pathros quietly observed everyone who served him. He noticed the servants who complained whenever the work became difficult, the ones who looked for shortcuts, the ones who only worked hard when someone was watching. But one servant continually caught his attention, the young camel boy, Hafid. Day after day, Pathros watched him carry burdens without complaint. He watched him care for the camels as though they were his own. He watched him complete even the smallest task with excellence, even when no one offered praise. Hafid never realized he was being watched. He believed no one noticed his quiet faithfulness. But every ordinary act, every unseen sacrifice, every moment of honest work was silently revealing the kind of man he truly was. One evening, as the caravan rested beneath the fading desert sun, Pathros called Hafid to his tent. The young servant's heart began to race. He searched his memory. Had he made a mistake? Had he failed in some way? He lowered his head respectfully as he stepped inside the magnificent tent of the great merchant. He had no idea that this single invitation was about to change the course of his entire life. For Pathros had seen something in Hafid that no one else had ever noticed, and before entrusting him with a priceless treasure, the wise merchant decided to test the young camel boy's heart. The following weeks became a season of testing, not a test of Hafid's strength, but of his heart. Pathros did not immediately reveal why he had summoned the young camel boy. Instead, he simply gave him greater responsibilities. Each assignment seemed ordinary, yet every task carried a lesson. One morning, Pathros entrusted Hafid with merchandise worth more than the young servant had ever imagined. "Deliver these goods to the marketplace," the merchant said. "Return before sunset." Hafid accepted the responsibility with both hands. He guarded every item as though it belonged to his own family. When customers attempted to bargain unfairly, he remained honest. When others encouraged him to keep a few coins for himself, he refused. Every piece of silver was returned exactly as it belonged. Pathros said nothing. He simply watched. Days later, the caravan crossed one of the harshest stretches of desert. The heat was relentless. The journey seemed endless. Many servants complained. Some begged to rest. Others lost their patience. But Hafid continued serving with quiet determination. He gave water to the weary, helped those struggling with heavy loads, and cared for the camels before thinking of himself. Again, Pathros remained silent. The wise merchant was not measuring Hafid's abilities. He was measuring his character. Weeks became months, and with every challenge, Hafid proved that faithfulness did not depend upon recognition. He worked with excellence whether someone noticed or no one noticed at all. Slowly, Pathros realized what he had hoped to find. The greatest treasure in his caravan was not hidden inside wooden chests. It was growing inside the heart of a humble camel boy. One quiet evening, as the sun disappeared behind the distant dunes, Pathros summoned Hafid once more. This time, the old merchant carried a beautifully crafted wooden chest. Its surface was covered with intricate carvings that had been preserved for generations. Pathros carefully opened the chest. Inside rested a collection of ancient scrolls, wrapped in fine linen and protected as though they were more valuable than gold itself. The old merchant looked into Hafid's eyes. "My son, I have tested your honesty. I have tested your patience. I have tested your willingness to serve, and you have proven yourself worthy." With both hands, Pathros lifted the first mysterious scroll from the chest. In that sacred moment, Hafid received a treasure that no amount of money could ever buy. A treasure that would transform not only his future, but the man he was destined to become. That night, after the camp had fallen silent, Hafid carefully unwrapped the first ancient scroll. The old parchment carried words that had guided great men for generations. He read them slowly, again and again, until every sentence became part of his heart. The scroll did not merely teach him how to become a better merchant. It taught him how to become a better man. From that day forward, Hafid made a decision. He would greet every new sunrise with joy instead of complaint. Whether the desert brought scorching heat or bitter winds, he chose to welcome each day as a priceless gift. Slowly, the people around him began to notice a change. While others complained, Hafid smiled. While others became discouraged, he encouraged them. His joy no longer depended upon his circumstances. It came from within. The second scroll taught him something even more difficult. Love, not the love of comfort or possessions, but love for every person he met. Customers, servants, strangers, even those who treated him unfairly. He learned that kindness possessed a strength no sword could match. And wherever Hafid traveled, people remembered not only what he sold, but how he made them feel. Another scroll taught him the power of persistence. Whenever a customer rejected him, he simply knocked on the next door. When one opportunity disappeared, he searched for another. Failure was no longer the end. It became another step forward. Day after day, he refused to surrender. Another scroll reminded him that tomorrow was never promised. Yesterday could not be changed. The only life he truly possessed was today, so he stopped waiting for the perfect moment. He poured his whole heart into every opportunity placed before him. Another scroll challenged him to master himself before trying to master the world. He disciplined his thoughts, his words, his habits. He understood that victory over himself would always come before success over circumstances. One morning, as others hesitated, Hafid acted. He no longer allowed fear to decide his future. He had learned that dreams remain dreams until someone is willing to move. Another scroll taught him to laugh, not because life was always easy, but because laughter reminded him that no hardship would last forever. Even during difficult journeys across the desert, his hopeful spirit lifted the hearts of those around him. He also learned gratitude. Instead of focusing on what he lacked, he gave thanks for every sunrise, every lesson, every challenge, every opportunity to grow. The more grateful he became, the richer he felt. Finally, the last scroll taught him that growth never truly ends. No matter how successful he became, he remained a student, always learning, always improving, always becoming. Years passed. The young camel boy who had once walked barefoot behind another man's caravan became the merchant others longed to follow. His business prospered beyond imagination. His caravans crossed kingdoms. His warehouses overflowed with goods from distant lands. Kings welcomed him. Merchants sought his counsel. Young apprentices hoped to learn from him. His name became known throughout the ancient world. But something remarkable happened. The greater his success became, the humbler he remained. He never forgot the deserts that had shaped him. He still greeted each sunrise with gratitude. He still treated every servant with dignity. He still listened before speaking. He still studied the scrolls, not because he had failed, but because he believed growth never ends. People often wondered what made Hafid different. Some believed it was his wisdom. Others believed it was his discipline. Others admired his kindness. But those who knew him best understood the truth. Hafid was not great because he possessed the scrolls. He was great because he lived them. His greatest fortune was never measured by the silver in his treasury, or the size of his caravans, or the wealth inside his warehouses. His greatest wealth was the man he had become, a man whose character could not be bought, whose integrity could not be stolen, whose compassion could not be shaken, whose purpose could not be defeated. The poor camel boy had become the greatest salesman in the world, not because he mastered the art of selling, but because he first mastered the art of living. What does Hafid's story mean for us today? Most of us will never cross ancient deserts or lead great caravans, but every one of us is selling something. Our ideas, our leadership, our trust, our character, our dreams. The question is not what you own, but who you are becoming. Hafid's greatness did not begin with wealth. It began with the small choices he made every day. He chose honesty. He chose discipline. He chose gratitude. He chose to keep growing. Those ordinary habits, repeated day after day, created an extraordinary life. And perhaps that is the greatest lesson of all. Your future is not shaped by one big decision. It is shaped by the small decisions you make every single day. Because in the end, the greatest success is never measured by what you possess. It is measured by the person you become.